Good evening once again. How are we doing? Can you all hear me, please? Let me confirm my audio.
Yeah, we can
All right.
we can hear you, sir. We are with you.
All right. Did I give you guys any assignments yesterday? Don't think there was no
Yes, sir. They
assignment
tell us to
practice,
test
right?
run the practice this the plus, the minus, the times, as we did on the division now.
All right. So quickly, we'll be looking at a different topic tonight, and though, like I was saying the other time, we have already established, or let me say, we have already started using part of these functions, but we will just officially address them so that we will be sure that we have settled them. So tonight we are looking at what we call control structure in programming. Control structure. So let me create a different file so that we can concentrate on it. Let's say control.py. And let me switch to the current file. So like I said, we are focusing on Python control. Python control structure. Python control structure. Now, before we look at the definition, I want us to understand that it is impossible for any programmer to develop apps without using these concepts. These concepts cut across almost all the programming languages that we have out there. The only differences will be the mode or the syntax of communicating it. But definitely in every programming, you will definitely work with a control structure. So let's look at the definition properly. So Python control structure are programming constructs that determine the flow of execution in a program. Let me take it again. Python control structure are programming constructs that determine the flow of execution. So the key word here is execution in a program. Now, we all know that the so-called apps that we have out there are like sequence of communications. It's just like relay race. So that is somebody putting different or assembly communications in one place such that the person must have programmed that at this point, this one does that, at this other point, this one does that. So the entire flow, how instruction flows within a program is what we are calling the control structure. So this is actually talking about the order of executing instructions within a program. And this order works with logical concepts, which I explained part of it to us in yesterday's section. Once you bring in logical here, so like I was saying, sorry about that. So once you bring in logical concepts, definitely you are going to have an option for true and false. So we can have several true options. We can also have several false options. Just to explain further, we can say the control or Python control structure allows developers to make decisions. So you can see from what I've explained so far, it's about decision making. To make decision, repeat tasks, because we have it in two arms. We have it, the first arm, we can refer to it as the conditional statements. And that is where the true option and the false option comes in full play. Then we have the one that we program to repeat tasks. For example, your operating system, we have what we call loop system. And that is why once you turn on your Microsoft window or you boot your system, that computer is not expected to switch off itself until a particular action stop it, according to how the programmer must have programmed it. So what we are going to be looking at, so just to explain some theoretical aspect of it to give us foundation, and then we'll take some practical. We'll see how we can apply these concepts to build some apps where we will be making some decision if certain action is true. Otherwise, make another decision if the action is not true, according to how we program it. So like I said, Python utilizes several control structures. So just to categorize them, Python utilizes several control structure. So just for us to utilize them, just to categorize them for better understanding, we look at the first category. So the first category is what we can refer to as conditional statements. Conditional statements. So somebody may want to ask, what is conditional statements? Conditional statement, in other words, we are saying that this control structure, we can have them in groups. The practical we are going to do will actually be broken into this group. That is why I am trying to see how I can give us some background before we dive into those practicals. So the first category of Python control structure is the conditional statements. So this includes three of them. We have the if, we have the elif, like I told us, you can see that we've started using what? Elif, and then we have the else. All of these falls under conditional statement, which means that these are control structure that we use majorly for making decision where an action is true or false. And then where we want to create multiple true options, that is where the elif comes in. If your focus is just one true option, then you might not need the elif. The elif comes in the moment you want to create multiple true options. Now, like I said, so which execute code or blocks? These three of them that I mentioned execute code or blocks based on whether a condition or whether conditions are true or false. So that is the scenario for using these three conditional statements. Remember the if, the elif, and the s. So that is for the category 1. Now for category 2, we have what we call the loops. The loops, that is L-O-O-P-S, the loops. So the loops, we have, in other words, let me just give out their general description. The loops are mainly for repeating tasks as long as a certain condition is until a certain condition is met, the action will repeat. That is why even when you are playing your songs, there is an icon to loop it, which means that it will continue until maybe you press the stop. That is the programming task for interrupting that action. So under loop, we have one of the most used loop function. One of the most used loop function. One of the most loop used function is for. This iterates over sequence. This iterates over sequence. This iterates over sequence. So that, like I said, is one of the most used loop function. We also have while loop. What I'm doing right now, I'm trying to give us a background so that when we start speaking them in app development, we'll all be on the same page. So you know why we are using conditional statements like if, elif, and s. And then you know why we'll be using the loop, because all this will be used according to the aim, the kind of app or the kind of function you want to integrate. Right? So we have what we call the branching statements. Branching statements break existing or loop. But most time, depending on how complex you want to go with your app development. So we have the continue, we have, that is what you can break, and then you can also continue. So that breaking is like you run option 1, 2, 3, and you want to skip 4 and continue from 5. So that is where we brought out this branching statement from. But majorly, we should know that control structure of programming has 2 major branches. If it is not conditional statement, then it is the loop functions. So with all this foundation established, now we can now dive into the programming aspects. Now, Just a second. All right. Right, I need to put on my agenda. Okay, so like I was saying, we have already established the foundation. Now we know that in Python control structure, we have two major aspects of it. So now we are going to look at I'm going to be taking them one after the other, see how far we can go. So even if we do not complete it, we'll continue from where we stop in our next meeting, because it's actually a very broad topic. So until somebody perform different example, you may not understand it. So so let's start with the if it is one condition. Now I want to make it a kind of a project base, as if we are trying to solve a real life problem. So that is how I'm going to take us through this control structure. Now, we have an objective here based on the simple app I want to develop with these concepts. The objective is that at the end of this very section, we'll be able to build, let's say, a simple game that uses this control structure. And that simple game, we can call it Treasure Island, where we hide, where we have welcome to Treasure Island, and then we will tell the player that your mission is to find the treasure, and then you are at the crossroads. Where do you want to go? So you see, we will now make an option whether you want to go left or whether you want to go right. So like I told us before, that is about decision making. So we're going to make options available to the player to choose whether he or she wants to go to the left or wants to go to the right. And then we'll also create a kind of repercussions of making any of these decisions. So if the user says he wants to go to the left, we'll tell the person this is what you are bound to see. You want to go to the right, or if you choose right, this is what you'll be led to. Now, all of this will be sequenced in the program, just to communicate the word how instruction flows or how instructions are executed within a program, as we have earlier established as the aim of this topic. So I will just do some illustration with my sketch here so that you understand what we are talking about. So for us to be able to create that simple app, we are going to use the first arm of the control structure, which is the if, and then we are going to specify what condition. We are going to define what condition. So like I told us before, all right, just to give us the syntax, we have, so which means that you are requesting for the value. Then we will say do this as requesting for another value as do this. So this is the simple structure of the Python control structure. So, like I said, we have the if, we have the elif, and we have s. And I said, when you are communicating this, you need to make room for true option and also false. So in this case, I have just one true option. So once the program starts running from here, by the time it examines whatever condition I must have programmed here, if it compare it with this and it's true, the program will stop here and output the scripts. But where the condition does not meet this true option, the program will execute what? This. So which means that we have this as the true option, and then we have this as the false option. Now, if I now want to create multiple true options, say for instance, you are building an app that is going to ask an employee to specify his or her educational qualifications. You know, a single person can have WAEC. The person can as well have let's say what, BSc, and also have HND. So which means that if you want to give option to the program to examine all of them as the possible true options, then we are going to bring in what? elif, and capture them what? Differently. Then before you end it with what? The s. Because one of the importance of making room for false is that tells you that what? That is a kind of a logic that helps you to verify whether everything actually what? Went well. Because if you do not have a S option, once the program could not get any of the true option, then the program will just remain what? Blank. It will not even throw any error. You won't get any what? Feedback. Because you did not program that if any of these are not true, then you give me this, because as soon as I see this, I know that something is not right. This same system that is applied in most of the apps that we use out there. For example, you are filling some forms, or you are trying to make transaction where, let's say you are making transaction on OP or MoneyPoint, where the programmer must have programmed that the least amounts must be 500 naira. So you cannot transfer anything less than 500 naira. So there is a control structure. There is a conditional statement there. that check the amounts you are imputing. And that conditional statement will have stated that if the user enter a value less than this or greater than this, let's look at the true value. If the user enter a value greater than this or equals to this, then proceed toward transfer. That is the next action. But if the user enter a value less than this, then tell the user that what you cannot enter a value less than this. Right? So that is a control structure playing out there. That is the point I'm trying to bring that here. So most of the apps that we use, these particular concepts are fully involved there. So like I said, another scenario, you see, when you see automation today, see all these AI automation things happening on their own. It's not because the programmer have sometimes programmed, some statement to check what could be happening at that time. Let me also cite another example. Let's assume that the swimming pool, you know that there's a level the water will get to, and then once the water get there, it will start draining. But before the water gets to that level, it will not drain. I'm just using that as an example. So we can represent the whole of that in programming. That once the water level is equals to this or above this, then you start draining it out. Well, if the water level is less than certain level, then keep what? Pumping in the water. So these are some of the things that can be represented in programming. So I am going to what we call the flow chart. You cannot implement control structure like conditional statement without conceptualizing it. You need to be able to ascertain the flow charts. That is what the algorithm. So I may need to go back and sketch it to us. So we have a point where we indicate that, okay, here we want to start. So the program starts maybe somewhere here. And then we have this global notation for communicating this concept. So we can have something like this. We can have something like this. We'll mind the diagram. So I can say, okay, this is what we check. Water level. If it's greater than what? Maybe 80 centimeters, for example. Now, because we have to create room for different condition. So this is just like where the condition is, and then the decision that will be made based on this will stretch out here, for example. And then remember I said there have to be what? True statement and false statement. So I can say, okay, this is going to represent one of the condition. Then here I'll say, okay, continue. Let's say here, continue. Let's say here what? Drain. Let's say here, drain. All right. So now, the decision you are making here is that what? Let's say you start pumping. You start the pumping machine and you start bringing the water. And then, at what point will the program know that it should continue pumping or it should start draining? So we are going to say, okay, once the water level here is maybe equals to 80 centimeters or greater than 80 centimeters, then start draining. But if it is not, if it is less than this, it should continue, which means what? You are saying that what? Do not stop what? Pumping in the water. So this type of conditional statement is known as if false. This type is known as what? if false because you are taking two different decisions. One is if, the if is the one that highlights the true statement, while this one is the one that represents the false. So with this background, let's see how we can represent the whole of this in coding. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create variable to store the two water level. The one that will indicate whether to continue what pumping, and the one that will indicate whether to what to drain the water to avoid what the water what spilling. So my first task is what to create variables for different water level. So like I told us, I'm filling up this based on project level, not just random. Try to like look at it, a problem, then we solve it with a concept. I believe with that, it will sync better. So I'll start by saying water underscore level, water underscore level. Let me hold on for my app. Try to shut down. Level is equals to, I have the one that will store what, the 50. Then I'll create another water level. Now, we are creating this water level as a kind of I will refer to this as a global variable because we have two variable scope. It's possible that I must have not explained it, but in programming, we have two variable what scope. That variable scope is talking about the life span of what a variable. At what point the variable what dies after usage or continue. For example, a variable we have local variable, we have global variable. A local variable is a variable that is created outside the function. Sorry, in the function, which means that such a variable can only be used while you are in that function. We have a global variable, a variable that is declared outside the function framework, which means that such a variable is available to what? Everyone. It can be reused outside the function. So that's exactly what I want to do here. So I set that water level to what? To 50. And then why? Because this is about making decision. So we are going to be comparing. So before you say yes or no, there must be a particular benchmark. There must be a value that will be used to compare with the condition in the function, in the if function. That is what will determine whether is to display the true option or the false option. So that is the global variable. Then I will say if water level, that is what, if water level, that is what the value in that variable. So I will just call what? The water level. If water level is greater than, if water level is greater than 80, remember that you have already set the water level to 50. So what we want to achieve now is at what point should the draining start? If the water is equal to that 50 or less than the 50, the draining will not start. All right, but on our own, we have already set it at 50, for example. So we are saying that take this water level is the condition that you are using to compare this and then it will not tell you whether true or false. Now, because you are testing a condition, you have to put a colon there and then go to the next line. If the water level is if the water level is greater than 80, what will happen? What should Python print? So you say what? Print drain. Drain the water. That's it, to avoid overflow. Now, if I stop here, the code will run. If I stop here, the code will run. So let me run it so that you see what we are talking about. So now you can see that what? It output nothing. It output nothing. So if I try changing this value, nothing will still be outputted because you do not supply the first value. So if the statement is not true, you won't get any what? Reply. And that is why, because we want to create room for the two statements, we will now say S. We will now say S, print something else. So this will allow you to check properly. Print what? Continue. I hope we are getting it. Let me get a response from at least one person.
I'm with you, sir.
All right. So now that we have achieved this, let me run the code now. What did you get? We get what? Continue. Why? Well, initially when I ran the code, we didn't get any value because at that time you have not provided what? S value. And if you look at this here, if water level is greater than 80, the question I want to ask you is that, is water level greater than 80? Can somebody answer me?
No, sir.
No.
The water level is below 80.
Good. That is why we are getting continue, because we say that what? If the water level is greater than 80, then print what? Drain the water. But if the water level is less than this, now let's tamper with part of this. So if I put 90 here, let me deliberately put 90 here and run this code again. You see what we get now, just to test the decision making of this word code. So just for you to know that there is actually a communication at the background. So this is what happened in most of the apps that we use out there. Sometimes you impute wrong information or you try transferring money, though many of the network attribute to it. But at times when you are entering the wrong, where you are supposed to enter, the programmer must have said that if the person or the programmer must have said this particular text box can only receive numbers as integer. And then you see some individual when they are creating password, and the programmer have said that it's only number password. You see them trying to combine number as string, and then you start getting invalid word password, because the programmer knew that some persons will not understand. So there should be a way, there should be an internal mechanism that we help the program to always, correct them or notify them that something is not properly done. Are we getting it now? So now let me give us 5 minutes for us to replicate this. I want to start with the simple and then we'll get to advanced. This one does not involve the elif because it's one true condition. If I want to check for maybe for another value, maybe where water level is 40, 50, 60, then elif will now be between this if and this s. Well, let's just see how we confirm this one first before we move forward. So I'm giving us 5 minutes, and once you have achieved it, please kindly simplify so that I just need 2 persons to confirm from 2 people.
We have achieved it, sir.
No, you don't speak for yourself. This is public.
Already achieved. Right on, right on.
That is a wrong English. You cannot say we have. Speak for yourself. Are you in their room? Have you forgotten that this is a virtual class? You are not in the same place to have known whether others are. Let them speak for themselves. Say you have achieved it. So let me hear from them directly, please.
Okay, I've achieved it. I've
I'm
achieved it,
good to
sir.
go, sir.
That is Mercy, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Those of you that said you have achieved it, share your screen. Let me confirm it. Let me
I have achieved it, sir.
Oh, that is Moses, right? Okay. So let me start from the first person that said that you have achieved it. Let's see your screen first. Okay, quickly. Yeah, yes. Let's go to the next person, followed by, let's go to Mercy.
So I'm not joining my laptop. I'm joining my phone.
Your phone.
Should I stop sharing?
Yes, yes. I think there's a way you used to show us that time. Okay, so let's go to the next person. That was Moses. Moses, please go ahead and Moses, go ahead and show us what you have done. Oh, you are not also using your laptop? Okay, so let me continue since can't hear from Moses. All right, so that is a simple one. I will have give us a classwork, but because of time, maybe we take that as an assignment. I wanted us to, I think I should do that. It's very important. This shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. So the task is that I want you to compare a number if the number is, let's say, for example, if the number is greater than or is less than the benchmark, you should add 2 to that number. But if the number is less than the benchmark, you should subtract 2 from that number. 5 minutes. Let me see those that can give me that up. If the number is greater than the benchmark, add 2 numbers to it. If it is less than the benchmark, deduct 2 numbers from it. So you determine the numbers yourself. 5 minutes, your time starts.
Please come again, sir. If the number is what?
If the number is, you set your benchmark, just like the way I set water level to 90 now, you set it. Then you now say if the number is compared to that benchmark and is greater than that number, you should add 2 to that number and print it out. For example, if it is 90 now, if I'm comparing that 80, if the number is greater than 80, which means 90 is greater than 80, there's going to add what? 90 plus 2 and give me 92 and print 92. But if it compares it and the number is less than that benchmark, it should subtract 2 from that 90. I believe you understand it now. I've almost given us all the clue, but let me see how you are going to code it. So start now.
I think I'm done.
Sorry, Moses.
Yes, sir.
Your own is ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you joining with your laptop?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's quickly see your own. Fast. So once you get it, I'll just take one more person and then we move on.
Hello, sir. I'm done, sir.
This one I did.
Hold on. We are here to see your
Sharing my screen now.
It's coming up. Yes. Yeah, I can see.
I'm also done.
All right.
Okay. So just that I can't see very well. So small. You can okay. So run it. Let's see. Run the code. Let's see the output you're gonna get. Please execute the code. Oh, have you already?
So
Okay.
yeah, I know that.
Your terminal is too packed with so many things. Where is the result? Can you point to where you have the result for us? Moses, please hurry up. There's no time.
Down here, I'm using VS Code.
Execute
Yeah, down here,
your-
I'm using VS Code.
Okay, where is the answer?
I've done it.
Just point to the answer for us.
Down here.
Okay, so
Okay.
I don't I'm seeing so many value there. Don't know which ones. Okay, let me go to stop sharing. Let's go to Ify. I think the same is also true.
Okay. Shall I share?
Yes, Ify share. Moses, stop sharing, please. Okay, so
I see my screen.
where is your benchmark? Benchmark is 80, right? So if benchmark is what? If benchmark, if it's greater than
said-
2,
print
can-
4, S, print 6.
benchmark
Oh,
is
no.
less than. Benchmark is less than. I'll say less than
2.
sign there. Less than 2. Is the
Hey,
bench? What did you
yes.
print now? You printed 6, have you?
Yes.
But this is not what I asked, though it's part of it. But what I said is that I want addition.
Okay.
Did you
Okay, sir.
understand? Let me see Uchenna. I want to see
Sir.
Mr. Ify, please stop sharing. Let me see whether
Okay.
you actually got what I'm asking for. Uchenna, you can go ahead and share, please. Share your screen. Let's see what you have there. Mr. Yomi, I have not heard from you today. What is going on? You didn't join with your laptop?
I joined with my laptop, but there are a lot of
Laptop.
coding I've done, so I need to
Okay.
do something on them so that they won't reflect. They are confusing me. That's why.
Okay. All right. I think we wanted to come on the Uchenna Alu, right? Screen. Share your screen. Let's see. You say you have done it. But it's not ready again. Please let us know.
Can you see my screen, sir?
Not yet. Not yet. I can't see it yet.
Okay, can you see it now, sir?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay, so I created mine in a way that to take an input from you.
Okay.
Now I also created an if-else statement.
Okay.
So if the benchmark is greater than 50, to print benchmark to add 2 to it. And if it is
Okay.
less than 50, to subtract. So now let me run it.
Here's your benchmark. Okay. You are collecting the benchmark. Okay. Continue. Run your code.
Yes, sir. You might. System is hanging. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Moses, is your system hanging or what? Okay, it's like the system is hanging.
Yes, sir. My system is hanging. Sorry, sir.
Okay, but have you executed it before?
Yes, sir. I executed it for a number greater than 50 and a number lesser than 50.
And it
And
works,
it
right?
did as I. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what you do is that just snap it and drop it in the group for them to see. I think that's exactly
sir.
what I was asking for, so that I can move on. Since we cannot see your screen again. All right, so we'll take another project so that we'll see how decisions are made in programming. That's exactly what we are trying to. So I want to create another simple app. And this time around, the app, what the app will do is to check. Let's assume that we have certain box that the employees or maybe people can write. And we want to set height limits. That is, you must attain certain heights before you are qualified to write the box. But if you are below that height, then the program tells you you need to grow more before you are qualified. So this is still trying to implement the concept of the decision-making structure of our programming. So let me just summarize it. Create an app that check. Let's see what. People heights. So like I said before, I'm going to set the height to like 120 or 140. So I will say if height if height is greater than 20, let's say 120, like I said, height is greater than 120. So let's create the variable called what? Height. Let's say height is let's set it to 120. If height is equals to 120, then we are checking if height is greater than 120, then Python prints you can write the bus. S Python prints
sorry, you need to grow more. For so to run this, is going to output what? Sorry, you need to grow more because what we have here, remember, we did not put what? Greater than. You said what? Equals to, which means that what we have here is equals to the 120. So it's not actually greater than the 120. So if I change this value to like 150 now, and I run the code again, I'm going to get what? A different value. So this is another way we can verify the decision-making structure of our program. So now, remember that we have different comparison operators. So I just want to bring our attention to them because we'll be using them as we go complex. So let me use comment to highlight them. We have used some of them. So we have what we call comparison. Though we have not really, I think we'll talk about operator when we started from beginning. I told us that operators are very important in programming because they have their own programming expression. Just like as we are using the greater than, you see that the program is interpreting it. So I just want us to take note of these comparison operators that are used in decision making, or probably when you are writing code that have to do with conditional statement or control structure. So we have this, which means greater than, which means greater than. You can just take note of them somewhere. Then we have this, which means less than. Then we have this, which means greater than or equals to. If you are not familiar with them, make sure that you write them down. Then we have equals to, less than, and which means less than or equals to also. Then we have exclamation I equals to. So what does this denote in programming? It means what? Not equals to. Not equals to. Then we have equals to, which means equals to. Remember I told us when we were working with variable that with a single equal sign, it means assignment, not equals to. Equals to has to be 2. Most time it can be 3. That is where you are more precise. All right. Then we have 1 equals to, which means assignments. Assignments. And then we have this, though we've spoken about it before. We have this. This one means modulus in programming. Modulus, which means remainder, it output remainder, not division. So now with all this,
I've already explained the modulus before, so I don't want to. I think we used it even yesterday. Was it yesterday we used it? I think one of the lecture we have talked about it. So we want to look at another app, and that's probably a more complex app where we will now use, remember, out of the three of them that I mentioned under conditional statements, we have used if and s, but we have not used what? Elif. So how we can nest the elif inside the if is the next app we want to develop, and this one is a little bit more complex than the one we just did. So at least that one has given us a foundation. So let's look at this app. Now, this app is just like, let me put it in writing. So let's say you are consulted as a programmer by restaurants, and they want to create different prices, different bills that they will bill their customers. So if somebody order for a particular item, this is at the end of the day, the program will print the bill for that person. It's just like our NEPA bill and all of that. So let's say create an app solution to bill customer. Let's just say in your business, it will not be restaurant, it will be any type of business. So as I'll be coding it, I'll be explaining what I'm doing per time, and the whole essence of it is to finalize these three aspects that falls under the first branch of what? Python control structure. So that we know that, okay, we are through with everything that has to do with the conditional statement. So probably in the next class, we'll now focus on the loops. All right, so now the first thing I'm going to write is you have to welcome your customers. You have to welcome them. So I'll print the statement. The print command, I'll say what? Welcome. Welcome to maybe tech in of, let's say, pizza delivery. Right now, the first thing I'm going to do after I've welcomed them is to ask them to supply the types of words. So in other words, I have broken them into sizes based on what I am looking up to. So your own, it's an assignment. You can look at it from another perspective. So the first thing is that I have different sizes of pizza, and I want to capture them so that if somebody enter a particular size, then I print the bill of that size. So for that, we are going to, so this is just like combining everything we have learned so far. So I will say what? I'll create a variable called what? Size. And then I will receive the input from them. So I'm giving them room to choose the size. So I will say what? Impute what size of pizza do you want? Then I will just mention different sizes. Let's say we have S, we have medium, we have or let's say, or large. So let's say these are the three categories of what? Sizes. So the next thing is for me to ask them the type that they want, the particular type that they want. So I can just say, for example, I can say, okay, maybe pepperoni as one of the type. Let's say pepperoni imputes. Imputes. So I can say, do you want pepperoni on your pizza? So they are to answer yes or no. So if they answer no, then that will determine the bill. All these questions you are asking, this data you are asking, is to enable you to know how much the client or the customer will be billed. Now, somebody can ask for extra cheese, maybe something else. So you create a variable for that. You say for extra cheese, for example, equals to impute you want extra. You want extra cheese. Then they have to answer yes or no also. Now, all these are possible information you want to receive from them. So now we have to, set the bill to 0. So I will say bill is equals to 0. Now, we will now bring in if size. Remember, size is one of the variables you have created. You have to acknowledge these sizes. So it's not enough for you to mention them in your statement here. The SM. You have to acknowledge them in your program. So say if size is equals to, remember the signs I just highlighted now. If size is equals to, now, if it is S, remember we are following this order. We are creating sizes, or size for S, size for M, and size for N. Then this is going to be one condition. So if the size is S, then the bill which you have set to what? 0 will plus equals to, and then 15. Can anybody tell us when you have plus before the equals to, or when you have minus before the equals to, what it means?
Okay. I think it means, okay, for example, the bill here is equals to 0. So it means plus equal, it means plus 15. Like plus 15 to the 0 that was there before.
Good. That is what it means. So if this is a kind of shorthand, instead of us writing 0 plus 15. So you are taking what has been there before and you are adding it to this. So that is what it means. Now we'll not do, you can see this is one of the true value. Because we have about 3 true value here before we have S. And how do you now capture multiple true value? Under the if statement. After the first one, every other one should be introduced with what? Elif. So this is where Elif comes in, which is the main reason why I'm developing this app, because we have already confirmed if and s. So now I will now say Elif size, because I want to capture the next one, equals to Elif size equals to, the next one is M, right? Then Elif size equals to M. So if the customer choose size M, which will be medium, what will be the bill? So you will now say bill is going to be the amount you want to set it, which is what? Equals to, the bill will be equals to 20. Right? Then Elif again, Elif size equals to L. That's the last one. What will be the bill? So bill plus equals to 25. Right? So now with this, now we have to add the final statement. Remember here, what we have captured is just this word S, M, and L. There's another piece where you said you are asking for another data. There's a possibility of them asking you yes for Y and no for no, or for N. So we need to also capture this line. How will the program know if they type Y, what to execute? So that is what we want to bring in. So let me just use comments here to explain something here. So let's say what? Add final statements. Final statements in case they type something else. Something else. That is why we are bringing this. So remember, this will now be else. So remember what I told us, that all these ones, they are true value. So it's either somebody pick this or somebody pick this. Now, we will now say if again, S, we bring in the S statement comes in here, and the S, if they type something else outside the M and the what, the S and the L, it's possible. Somebody can just be ordering for what is not in your restaurant. So we say what? Print, you typed the wrong inputs. You can use a more polite word if you feel. Then the statement continue. We have not ended the code. We just at this point acknowledge this. So we now say if, because why are we bringing this if? Because we also have another variable here. Like I said, we have not made reference to this pepperoni. Somebody may want it, and that will influence the price. That is what we are trying to capture here. So this is another statement. A pepperoni, remember that you have created as a variable, so you call it, make sure that you don't change it, is equals to, if somebody, you are asking a question there. Do you want, let's look at it again. Do you want pepperoni on your pizza? The person can answer yes. So if it is yes,
then what will happen? If it is yes, what will happen? Like I said, if it is yes, and if the bill, if size is also equals to, because we have to align it with the size of the one that is asking you for. If size is what? S, another condition statement here, then the bill of that person will be what? It will increase by 2 naira or whatever. So we say what? Plus what? Equals to 2 for making that what? Additional choice. Now, S, if the person did not ask, or S, bill is going to be plus or equals to 3. So now the next thing we want to do here is we also mention extra. So you can see how we are coming from up now. We have to say something here. Somebody may want extra, so that extra will also influence the cost. So that is why we are bringing this. So we can now say if extra is equals to yes, because we created 2 options there. Then the bill will be what? That will also attract its own fee, will be plus or equals to 1. All right. Then after this, we'll now print the final bill, because based on what the person is ordering for, that will determine whether there will be addition of 2, addition of 3 to the actual size that we have already stipulated. So everything will now be summed up together and tell you this is your bill. So all these are automated apps that are doing a lot of calculation as we are picking. You know, when you visit a restaurant like supermarket now, you know, when you pack those things inside the basket, when you get there, they put it in the machine. So those ones are scanning the price and they are what? Totaling everything for you. So this is the programming that is happening. So the moment that machine scan and take the price, scan another one, take the price, scan out the price, then there's a program that is what? Totaling everything. So now I can say to print to final bill. So say print. I'm going to use string prints, which we have already learned, F, because I want to add a brief statement to it. So I will say your final bill is, so I will call the variable bill using the $sign here. This $sign is you want to specify the currency, whether it's in dollar or is in naira. Then after this, you use the calling bracket. Remember, we have learned this before. I've taught us this because I want to reference a variable inside this word Python string printing. Now, what is the variable? This variable what? Bill that we are bringing in here. Right? So now let's run the app and see what we are going to get. Right? So we are asked what size of the pizza do you want? So we say, okay, S. And then it asks me, do you want pepperoni or your pizza? I'll say yes. Press enter. Do you want extra cheese? Yes, I would say. Then you see it prints your final bill is 0. Now, why do we get final bill 0? Can anybody explain to us? Let me know if you are following. Or what are we expected to get? If you can tell us why we have final bill 0. Or let me allow us to write our code. Let's write so that we can confirm together and we can debug, because that is only the remaining. Once we have debugged this, that will bring us to the end of this session. So let me give us time to write, and then so that you can factor out. I think we started from here. So you can start writing now.
If you are through with your own, Mr. Ifai, since you are going with your laptop, share your screen. Let's see the communication of your own. Okay. Oya, communicate it. Let's hear what you are saying.
Okay. Okay. I started by
And you may need to increase it back now. You reduce it again. I think it's better like this.
okay. It's okay. I
You don't
started
you don't need to explain the code. Just run it. Just be
okay.
execute it. Let's see.
I should run.
Yes, it's just the result we want to see.
Okay.
It's asking you
This is
already.
the result, sir.
What size of air type is size? Let's see.
Should I put a small or large or
It's left for you. I just say you run it, so you can choose. You created the option. You can choose any option.
okay? Should I enter?
Yes.
Okay.
So do you
Do you
want?
want pepperoni? Okay.
Space.
Let me say yes. Do you want extra cheese? Yes. Okay. Your final B is 0.
Who else have written it? Let me see. Are we supposed to
Should
get
I stop?
Who else?
$0 sign on.
Okay. Who else have written it that is joining with laptop? I want to confirm something before we check it together, just to know if we are getting. So if you on share now, those places
Okay.
where you put yes, you put no. Put no.
Okay.
Let's see
Okay.
whether I'm going to put something different while I'm going for
Okay.
someone else.
So I did the reverse. It's still the same thing. I still got the same answer.
Is he giving you 0?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me run comment. Yes, I know I did that.
Type your
Comment. Let me just check something. Let's keep trying it differently. I'm trying to, let's type in comment. I want to see. Has any other person tried? Let me see. Let's look at hope you are following the way you type the way you store the S, where you use capital letter. And Mercy, was that how you followed it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let me check again.
Mm. What size of pizza you want this? You want your pepperoni? Let's see. Yes. Please confirm again. Let me see. Mercy, are you doing that already?
I'm still getting your final bill is $0.
You are still getting 0, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me just see. Let me see if I'm not able to, I'll debug it before the next class because it works. I know. Let me just see if the communication is not print. Welcome to size or size of me. Just hold on. Let me try to debug something.
Okay, sir, my own is asking me to enter the first number. Is that correct?
Your own is asking you to enter the first number.
Yes.
You need to share your screen. Let's see how you wrote your code. That we can.
Okay.
coming.
Can you stop?
Let me come on the screen now. I wasn't there. Okay, so here is to enter. Let from where? Okay, size, right?
From-
Input.
No,
What?
from here.
Yes. Okay. Welcome to iSeafood. Okay. The next one you collected inputs. What size? No, this first number is running the previous code, not this code. Maybe you have to go and comment.
Mhm.
Well, yes, go and comment those. I think the rest try something like that to let's see, comment other codes. Let it remain only this particular code so I'll be sure of what.
Okay, I think I've seen it.
Mhm.
Okay. Now it's giving me welcome to iSeafood. What size of food do you want?
Okay.
I think that is where what the output
Yes,
is.
specify. Based on the type that you outlined there, specify whether you want size M or size L. Just choose any of those sizes. Let's see what you get.
I choose M and it say, do you want Bama on your bread? Yes or no?
Okay, so also choose yes or no. Choose one of the option.
Okay. I choose yes. Do you want extra milk? Yes or no?
Okay, choose.
So you type the wrong input.
You type the wrong input. Okay, that means based on the option. Then go back again and choose. Let's see where it will give you. You type the wrong input. Yeah, that was the option we created if they did not choose. That means based on what you choose now, none of them align with what you defined there. So just go back and run it again.
Okay. I've run it again.
What do you have?
Should I choose like
Yeah.
small size, right?
Yes.
Okay. I choose S, small size, which is S. Do you want Bama on your bread? Let me choose no this time around.
Okay.
No. Do you want extra milk? Yes or no? No. You type the wrong input. Still giving me the same thing.
Okay. All right. So just hold on. I'm almost done with what I'm checking. So just want to see if it doesn't work, then I have to debug it before the next class because of time. But I just want to quickly check something first. All right.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I think I've okay. Let me check.
I did something, sir.
Okay. Has it outputted the expected results?
Well, yeah, but I use dictionary
No,
instead.
no. Now let me show us what's though I've corrected this. I've corrected. Let me just show us my code and then I will just tell us what we need to do. Why
All right, sir.
is not giving us that results? Oh.
Now, some time ago, I was talking about adding, because as you are typing that L, so the program is confused whether it should be capital letter or it should be lowercase. So what I did now is just to add this. So this is actually the problem. We are supposed to add that whether the person enters it in a small letter or in any case, it should return to what? Uniform case. So what is happening to us now is that since we did not program this, so the program was confused. At some point, we are typing capital letter M, we are typing small letter Y, or all of that. So now if you run it, you see that I've got to let me just confirm it so that we can end the class there. So just edit your code, just add this, so that the program will return whatever input, whatever case they use in typing it, it should return into capital letter before returning the value. So you can see that the values here are defined. Yes?
What did you add, sir? Please,
look at it here. This wasn't there. This dot upper was not added to the input before. I just stopped here before. Have you noticed it?
No.
Can you see where? Can you see where I am navigating to? Can you see my cursor?
Okay. Dot upper.
Just these 3 lines. I put dot upper so that by the time I'm typing, see, look at what was leading to that error. When I am asked what size, sometimes I type a small letter. So I have already instructed Python that even if the person type it in small letter, convert it to what? Uppercase. So if I press enter now, so I don't have to check whether I'll just type it as I like, because I know that I've added the function that will do the conversion. So I will say no, and then I will just say what? Maybe no, and then it will output what? A value. Instead of giving us that 0. So the only place you edit now is just this place. Just add dot upper, you start getting value.
Okay. So, but if you want it
lowercase,
lowercase,
yes,
you now say dot lower.
Yes, that is the only thing that was making it not to work. All right, so we stop here tonight. So please let's look at different, at least the project base. I tried to make it real. I will have just choose random number just to compare, but I decided to go this way so that we can say, oh, this is how somebody can use it. You can use this you can develop this for a restaurant that they can be using, to quote their customers, right? So we stop here. See us. This is day 9 already. Next weekend, we get to day 11. So we still have some random app. We still have to look at Python class. We still have other advanced functions to look at. But please, I will encourage us to, like I said, this particular topic now, control structure, we are not done with it. We have only covered the first arm, which is the conditional statement, where we have the if, the S, and the elif. That is what we have discussed today now. Now, in the next class, which is Saturday, we'll look at the loops. Then probably on Sunday, like this, we'll enter the next topic. All right, good night, everyone. Have a blessed week ahead. Thank you.